Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. August Srila Prabhupada. Welcome you all to His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaja's daily call. I hope you all are well. You are having a lovely, great, nice Krishna conscious day. Just give me a moment. I'll just start the recording and then we'll get on with the class. Just give me a... I've not actually updated the class, so just give me a minute. Yeah. So today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 18th chapter, in verse number 15, verse number 15. And this is the verse when sages of Naimisharanya are talking to Sutta Goswami. So we'll go to the verse now. I hope you all can hear me fine.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, that's our verse for today. You can see the screen, yeah? Screen fine?
Yeah.
So we'll start with the Mangalacharan first. Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Krishna 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 18 chapter, and verse number 15. Verse start is as follows. Tanno bhavan ve bhagavat pradhano mahatmekam kant paranasya harer udaram charitam vishuddham shushutam no vitnotu vidhon. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Sutta Goswami, you are a learned and a pure devotee of the Lord, because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages. Purport. The speaker on the transcendental activities of the Lord should have only one object of worship and service, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the audience for such topics should be anxious to hear about him. When such a combination is possible, namely a qualified speaker and a qualified audience, it is then and there very much congenial to continue discourses on the transcendence. Professional speakers and a materially absorbed audience cannot derive real benefit from such discourses. Professional speakers make a show of Bhagavat Saptah for the sake of family maintenance, and the materially disposed audience hears such discourses of Bhagavat Saptah for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. Such Bhagavatam discourses are not purified from the contamination of the material qualities, but the discourses between the saints of Naimisharanya and Sri Sita Goswami are on the transcendental level. There is no motive for material gain. In such discourses, unlimited transcendental pleasure is relished both by the audience and by the speaker, and therefore they can continue the topics for many thousands of years. Now, Bhagavad Saptas are held for 7 days only, and after finishing the show, both the audience and the speaker become engaged in material activities as usual. They can do so because the speaker is not Bhagavat Pradhana and the audience is not Shushuptam, as explained above. So it's a very nice verse. Actually, it gives the qualities of the speaker and the hearer. And this verse is mainly, as I mentioned, that has been said by the sages of Naimisharanya, who are glorifying the Suta Goswami, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. And what is he saying? So in this verse, we should remember few words, which is, in Sanskrit, and it's very important for us to understand what is it coming from directly. So the main verse is Bhagavad Pradhano. Remember this words, Bhagavad Pradhano. And then there is Shushutam, which Srila Prabhupada has said, Shushutam. So Bhagavad Pradhano and Shushuttam. So these two words describe the qualities of the speaker and hearer. So what should be the, so first we will look at the qualities of the speaker. What should be the speaker should be, when someone is talking about, saying about Shrimad Bhagavatam, or giving the discourses of the Shrimad Bhagavatam, or even talking about, giving discourses on Krishna's pastime, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's, Krishna's instructions like Bhagavad Gita. So anyone who is talking about Krishna, the Lord's pastimes, should have the quality, he should be a pure devotee of the Lord. So there is one more thing, it says that the object of worship for him should be only Krishna. There should not be anyone else. He should have no other intention to except then the service to the Lord, and to the pleasure of the Lord, and for the pleasure of the Lord. And this is why it's the one who has dedicated his life, the one who has committed himself to his guru, to Krishna's mission, to, like, for us, it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, for Srila Prabhupada's mission. So one who has committed his life, he has given his, his mind, his senses, his words, his body in the service of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. He is the one who can discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam, who can give the who can, in pure reality, he can give us the instructions of the Lord. So that is the quality, who is completely dedicated to the Lord himself. And the one which is, it says very clearly that one as your chief object of service, the one who has the, we don't have any other motive to serve to anyone else. Like, for example, we are serving a family, we have so many other things. And Srila Prabhupada has very clearly mentioned in this Saptaha, Bhagavad Saptaha. Because as we have seen, I'm not sure if you have seen it, in India, there is a tradition to run the Bhagavad Saptaha for 7 days. But it is done initially it was said by Sukha Goswami, because Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days to live, and this is why he finished all the pastimes of Krishna, all the leelas, in 7 days. However, this has been tradition going on, that in India, we have professional speakers of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm not sure if they charge. They must be charging something, because they're giving the time. But Srila Prabhupada is saying this Bhagavad Saptas are not for the professional speakers. The one who has learned the scripture, the one who has memorized the shlokas, the one who knows Krishna's pastimes, but who does not have a desire to please the Lord, will not pass on the same knowledge to you, and it will not make an impact in your life, in your purity of your mind. So it's very important that the object of the service and the pleasure, because as we have seen many times that Bhagavad Saptah are done. I've not attended any. However, if devotees have attended any, they might have experienced that sometime it happens, sometime it may not. And I would not question the speakers, because they are definitely pure devotees who are also giving Bhagavad Saptahs. And they're definitely, their intention is definitely to please the Lord. So we're not talking about those who are pure devotees of the Lord, who was giving the Bhagavad Saptas, but we are talking about the professional devotees who are making it as an earning, who has the intention to maintain their family life in the back end, that they want to maintain their family life, and they want to please the host and please the hearer. The one who want to please the host, who has organized this Bhagavad Saptah, and the one who is want to please the hearers, then there is other motives comes up. But the one who want to please the Lord by saying the Lord's pastimes, that is the pure devotee. So when they speak about the Lord, and when they do the discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam, that has a very great impact on oneself. And he said that if a speaker is good, if a speaker is pure devotee, then that can impact thousands and millions of people around the world. It can make a major changes in the people's life, as we can see from Srila Prabhupada. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. As soon as he reached New York, even in India, many places, he just, he expanded Lord Chaitanya's mission, because he was pure devotee just by, he was not even in the starting, he wasn't even giving Shrimad Bhagavatam discourses. He was sitting in New York under the tree and just playing kartal and taking the Lord's holy name. Just by singing that name with the purity, it made an impact. So thinking about, when he started giving the discourses on Shrimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and how many devotees he made all around the world. And you can see that impact was not for short period of time until he lived. That impact has been going on and on and on, and this movement is flourishing like anything, because his blessing is there, because he was himself a pure devotee, and he had these, blessings of the Lord himself. So you can see and same with, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as you can see, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannath Das Goswami. So this parampara who is coming out from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu onwards, we see that they were all pure devotees of the Lord. And this is why, the movement is, it's such a glorious movement. We can see that how it has received the blessings from the parampara, from the previous acharyas, from our gurus, and from Krishna himself. And this is why we have to understand that to become a speaker, we have to have that purity in our heart. Our intention, our aim should be only to please the Lord and to render a little service in the lotus feet of the Lord, and then only we will get the impact. So that is the quality of the speaker, as we say. And we should be very careful that, even Bhagavad Saptah, we have seen that when we go, and I've seen in my family, even, my family members, everyone goes, like, in India, Bhagavad Saptah, they go and attend the Bhagavad Saptah, but it's when they come back, they do not follow it. So there is not clear instruction has been given in the Bhagavad Saptah to how to apply that teachings in our life. So it's more important to learn that, to read this on daily basis, so that we can apply the knowledge in our life. So this is why Shrimad Bhagavatam, this slok is, we all know the slok, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Yeah, Krishna says that it's been said that we have to read this, we have to seva. This is a service to Shrimad Bhagavatam. It's a Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. We should serve the Bhagavat every day. So we should remember that, but just by attending the 7-day Saptah and coming back and entangling again to the material activities will not make an impact in our life. It will not change anything. If we even if we hear 5 times a year, we hear the Bhagavad Saptah, but we come back and we do the same thing. We are eating everywhere, we are watching everything, we are going around everywhere, we're doing the same activities what we were previously doing it, then it does not make any difference. Like, we are going and hearing that just for our pleasure, because it, and it says clearly, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that for some material benefit, namely religiosity, wealth, gratification of the senses, or liberation. So devotees goes and hear this, and they think that, it will be, they will get pious benefit even for hosting it, or maybe, attending it. If you have any of this intention, then it doesn't serve the purpose of hearing. So if you're attending, if you're doing this for the pious deeds, for the wealth, or for gratification of the senses, because, sometimes people like to hear Krishna's pastime, and even Krishna's pastime described in 10th canto, it attracts everyone, but that is not the point. Like, and liberation, moksha. So these are the things which impurify the hearing. And this is why the Shrimad Bhagavatam should be heard, should be read, should be understood on daily basis. And then what happens? It releases us from the material entanglement, material distress. So it's always very important to understand that this activity should be done on the daily basis. Not in 7 days we hear and we finish it, and then we think that yes, we had that quota of doing that religious service and we have done it. It should not be done in that way. It should be on daily basis, and the stress is to be done. And Saptah is cannot be finished, it cannot be read and understood in 7 days. We are not, then there is no Sutta Goswami here and there is no Parikshit Maharaj. We are not Parikshit Maharaj. We can't understand Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days. That should we should make this very clear. And even not in 7 days, if someone thinks that, if in a month, if I can read Srimad Bhagavatam, maybe 10 days, but it should be read every day. Even if you read one shloka every day, that should be read, must be read, and it should be followed. Like, even I'm not able to completely follow it. I try my best, but yeah, we should all try and do that. And there's one more thing I always think when I read Srimad Bhagavatam, that we should be so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for translating this knowledge in English, because I have seen the Hindi books and definitely it's in pure Hindi. And sometimes pure Hindi can be difficult to understand, like, whatever languages sometimes, but English has become so common and it makes us understand much better. I think I feel it. I'm not sure about all of you, but Srila Prabhupada has so, painlessly translated this knowledge for us. So we should be very grateful and we should try, understand, apply in our life. So this is the quality of the speaker, that how should be the, speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam should be. So now there is a second quality of the speaker. The second thing has been mentioned, that speaker should be definitely, pure devotee. But how should be hearer? How should we be hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastime? How should we feel like when? So it says Shushuktam. Shushuktam means, if you see here, those who are receptive. Yeah, receptive means those who are eager to hear. Always remember, it's very, very important to have that one pointed attention when we are hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam. And it can be, and when you are a good hearer, whether whoever is speaking, even if it's a professional speaker or a pure devotee, when you are a good hearer, that knowledge will sink in your head, in your mind, and you will follow it. Yeah, you will understand. You will take it to your heart. Yeah, you will, when once it is sitting in your heart, then you will start to apply, you will start to manipulate, you start to think about it, that how did Lord did all his pastimes. So it's very important for a hearer to be eager to hear, and enthusiastic. Like, we should always have enthusiasm whenever classes is happening, whenever our if guru is speaking, if any sannyasi is speaking, we should be trying hearing from the pure devotees, that, so that knowledge can go in. And there is one thing is very important for this hearing, is basically, when does that eagerness comes, when does that enthusiasm comes for pure devote, for a hearer to hear? It comes from your sadhana. So it's slowly, when we see that, if someone new joins the movement, in the starting they're not keen to hear, because they have not got that taste to understand Lord's pastime. They just hear, they just it gone past their head, because they've not understood it, what Lord is trying to say. Is even, Bhagavad Gita classes, that is the only book on the Mother Earth planet that has come out from the Lord's lotus mouth directly. So we must not take it for granted. Bhagavad Gita itself is such a potent book, an instruction about the life from the Lord. So if when you must have all, we attend the temple programs when a Bhagavad Gita class is going on. When the newcomers comes, they just hear, they're looking at their mobile, they're looking at their children, and they're doing so many things at the same time. They're looking at the temple walls and pictures and everything, but their attention is not on the speaker. They're not hearing it properly. So eagerness comes from chanting, from taking the Lord's name, from sadhana. How do you perform your sadhana? So it's a whole package. If you see, eagerness doesn't come from day one. It does come. I'm not saying it has come to some devotees, like, who has continued their journey. So if someone has, reached to the point of that in the previous life, so in this birth, they, from the childhood, they will be eager to hear. Yeah, so it does come like that. But for those who does not have that, that type of previous birth, where they have been involved in the Lord's service, and they have already heard Lord's pastime in the past. So somewhere, if someone is starting from day one, it doesn't come straight away. It comes by your sadhana, your practice, by making your life discipline. Discipline as in such way that you're following it already. Like, you're not living your life in the mode of ignorance. living your life in mode of goodness, or maybe in pure goodness, like you're serving the Lord, you're doing some activities. Your life is discipline. Discipline is very important in the life, because that is the only way a sadhak can progress. And that's how I have felt in my life, and experienced it from seeing from other people as well, how discipline is important in our life. So discipline is like, for example, you're not sleeping late, you're waking up on time, you have fixed routine, what do you do, what your services are, disciplining in your eating, discipline in your sleeping, discipline in your what you're talking, basically controlling your senses and controlling yourself around your activities and everything. And that will make you a better sadhak. Even from day one, if you have disciplined your life. And one more thing is about discipline is there is a law of discipline, and that is called obedience. So obedience, like for example, if you take example of a child, if he is obedient to his parents, and his parents knows what is right and wrong and how to grow a child, then that child would listen to the parents, and he would make his life like that. And for us, as being a sadhaka of on Krishna consciousness, we're trying to connect to the Lord. In that way, what is the obedience for us? Our obedience is for Srila Prabhupada. Our obedience is for our Guru. And we have to understand that how do we follow? How do we submissively follow our Guru? How do we listen to his instructions? And how do we apply those instructions in our life? And that is very, very important. And obedience is not just, there has to be sincerity in our life when we following the instructions of. So when the spiritual master we choose, he's a Bhagavad Purana, what it says in here, that Bhagavad Pradhan, because they are the pure devotees of the Lord. So when they're giving Shrimad Bhagavatam lectures, and we're listening, so at that time, in the early stages, the first step is to discipline our life and be obedient to, not even like coming to the spiritual master stage can be a very later stages. In the beginning, we just need to learn to hear from the senior Vaishnavas, hear the authority in the temple, and try and follow them. How do they do it? How do they lead their life? What do they do? And this is how slowly when we discipline our life, we become sadhaka, maybe chanting 1 round, 2 round, 5 round, making a discipline around everything around your sadhana. And what that will do, that will give you the eagerness to hear. And slowly that enthusiasm, that eagerness to hear, Krishna would come, and Krishna, I'm not sure if you have heard about the Surdas. When Surdas used to sing, Krishna used to come and hear the bhajans of Surdas. He was just sit there and hear the Surdas was always sing the bhajans of his Gopal. And it's so sweet. If you see the pictures of Surdas, if you hear the pats of Surdas, it's just so nice to see that relationship between the Lord and the devotee. That how does it happen? And even the Gopi Geet, in Vrindavan, when gopis were singing that, Gopi Geet, Krishna was hiding himself, and Krishna was hearing that. So it happens that, when pure devotees are calling, then Krishna himself comes and sit. So speakers, if the speaker has the eagerness to hear, and this is also one of the quality to become a good speaker as well in the future. When you have the eagerness, enthusiasm to hear the Lord's name, Lord's glories, Lord's pastimes, then in future you will absorb it slowly in your mind, in your heart. And what will happen, that in future you will become a better speaker. And it will, this pastimes will purify your heart to the extent that you will yourself will become a pure devotee. And one day you will start giving the discourses on Shrimad Bhagavatam. So this is how it happens, slowly when we practice. So Srila Prabhupada used to say that, someone asked Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, I don't know anything. Like, I don't know Bhagavad Gita, I don't know Shrimad Bhagavatam. How do I preach? So Srila Prabhupada said that you learn 2 lines and you preach 2 lines. You learn 2 lines and you preach 2 lines. So what happens? This is how we take the Krishna to everywhere. We give Krishna to everywhere. How we do it? Whatever we know, even if we don't know anything, like myself, I don't know anything about my knowledge is literally like big zero. But I'm just following Srila Prabhupada's instruction that you learn 2 lines and you preach 2 lines, and that's what I'm trying to do. So this is what you do. You, in your contacts, in your friends, in your family, in your colleagues, whatever you know, little bit. Dear Saraswati was such a little child, and devotees used to come and ask him. She would use distribute the prasad, and devotees would come and they will ask Saraswati, that Mother Malti's daughter. I'm sure you all would know. And who is Krishna? So she would say, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's all. And Srila Prabhupada used to say, see, Saraswati is preaching. And this is what we have to do. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That covers everything. That's the essence of the Vedas, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So yeah, we should try and so this all small efforts, if you go out and give a Bhagavad Gita to anyone, even just giving out one Bhagavad Gita, try and distribute, try and serve the Lord, try and give the glories of the Lord to others who are living in the ignorance. And slowly, what will happen? These services to the Lord, hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, this will slowly purify us. And at one state, we will become in a position that will be pure enough, that saying about, if we say something about Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna to others, it will make an impact in their life. Like, for example, Narad Muni and this Mugrari, hunter. We have heard this pastime many times, that, how Narad Muni has made change just by the moment association of Narad Muni. And even Narad Muni's life, just the association of 4 months of Chaturmasa, when he used to serve the, sages in the forest with his mother. And those sages have made impact on Narad Muni, and he made him the pure devotee. So this is how we should see that, how why we are not able to preach, why we are not able to make devotees, because we don't have that purity at Chila Prabhupada has had, as the sannyasis who ISKCON has. The purity has to be there to preach, and for that purity will come by our sadhana, by our services. Any little desire to serve will purify you. Not even service, just the desire to serve the Lord purifies yourself. Imagine if you just do little service, if you just bring one relative, one friend to Krishna consciousness, just not even bringing them, just talk to them about Krishna, just encourage them in their journey, and that will purify you. So there is, so many things about sadhaka, how we can improve ourselves. And there is, but one thing I wanted to actually highlight about the hearing is how we can be a better hearer. So there are very good 6 steps we should always remember. And I'm sorry, I think there's some work going on, and I hope there is not much disturbance. And can you still hear me fine?
Yes, Mataji.
Oh, perfect. Who's there? Oh, Divya, thank you. Nice to see you. So there are 6 steps of good listening. So there's the first one is give the speaker your undivided attention. So that is very important. Don't go to sleep in Srimad Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class, or yawn, or, or look around your mobile, or look around on the walls, or do something else. So this is a very important, giving your speaker a one-pointed attention when you're hearing him. And especially, it can happen in your meetings, in your office meetings, or in your schools, in the kids, or anything, it can happen. But Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing of the Lord's pastime, should be one-pointed attention. So you should give your speaker, and someone who is, sitting on the Vyasasana, someone who is giving talking about the Lord, he should be straight away given respect. We should bow down to him, because he's talking about the Lord. So we should give him the undivided attention. That is first step for good listening. So second one is provide appropriate non-verbal communication. So what does that mean by, when you have eye contact with someone who is speaking, that is a non-verbal communication, basically. That shows that you're hearing him. So you're not looking here and there, everywhere, whatever happening around it, you're giving your so when nowadays Zoom calls happen. So what can you do is, when Maharaj comes online, when he gives the class, what you do is you come online, you show your faces, you keep the cameras on, you keep your attention there. So that is important. Like, just keeping your cameras on, it would be really nice. Maharaj would really, he really appreciates if someone keeps the cameras on. And he many times he mentions that because if the camera is not on, devotees are doing all these things, they're not listening with attention. So it's we should always remember that it's very pleasing to the speaker and it shows to them, and they're more encouraged to speak when we have this nonverbal communication. Third one is the pace the conversation. So pace the conversation is not jumping around in between, asking questions or things like that. We should let the speaker finish what points he has got. We should let him speak first, and then jump if we have any comment or anything, if we want to do anything, or if we have some activities to do. So we should let the speaker finish. That's the pace the conversation. Then fourth step is ask meaningful questions. So we should learn from Parikshit Maharaj, and Srimad Bhagavatam is full of question and answer. As you say, Maitreya Muni and Vidura, Sutta Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya, and Parikshit Maharaj and Sukha Goswami, it all happening question answer, question answer, question answer. And one is answering, one is questioning. So we should always question. And it should not be any question for the sake of questioning. Like we should ask a question which makes sense, which is out of your curiosity, which you would like to know, and something which will purify you, which will purify answer to this, which will make the understanding clear between ourselves and others as well. So we should ask those type of questions. And questions should not be specially for when Srimad Bhagavatam classes are going on, or any Krishna's related classes and discourses are happening. It shouldn't be only for the for challenging the speaker. So many times devotees learn so much shastras, learn so many things, and then they challenge the speaker, which is not right as well. Then it's not pleasing to Krishna. It's just kind of opposite to pleasing to Krishna. Krishna will be upset if you challenge the Srimad Bhagavatam speaker, or any speaker who is giving the discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is one thing. We should ask meaningful question. Yeah. And then fifth one is very, very important, actually. That's recall previous information. So we should always remember that, whatever, like we are on first canto. So we should always recall what has happened, where we are currently now, at what stage we are, what is Parikshit Maharaj doing, what is Naimisharanya, sage of Naimisharanya is doing it, what is happening now. So we should always remember that we recall the previous pastimes of whatever we are here, and we are remembering it. And this I always try to do it, which I'm not even in practice as well, that every time you hear a class on YouTube, you go to the temple and hear the class, you try and recall the information. What it will do, it will stay in your brain for a longer time. And then recalling it's like a kind of a revision about how students does it. I've got so many messages here in the chat. Oh no, that's fine. No problem. Thank you. Yeah, so recalling is very important, like how kids do, for sciences, for English, for maths, how they do the revision, and that's how we should recall the information, previous information. And provide your input and comment. So this is also very important, that we should, after the class is finished, if you like the class, and if you have any comment, and if you have any self-realization which you have felt, or it matches with what the speaker has said, and if you have felt your life that your sadhana is also same, you have had the same experience in Krishna consciousness, things like that. So because sometimes what happens, that our realization, our comment can benefit others, and a speaker also feels that you have given some input. It means you've been hearing, you had your attention on the class. So it's very important. So these are the 6 steps: undivided attention, appropriate nonverbal communication, pace the conversation, ask meaningful questions, recall previous information, and provide your input. So these are the few qualities of stages of hearing. So that's how I would end up here, just repeating that what is the quality of the speaker is that he is a pure devotee of the Lord. He has dedicated his life, his mind, his body, his senses, everything in the service of the Lord. And his object of service is the Lord himself, chief object. Remember, chief object, topmost object is the service. He is doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, nothing else. And what is the quality of the hearer? Quality of the hearer, he is eager to hear. That's very important. He is eager to hear. So we'll end there, and we'll open up for any questions, comments, realization, if you have any. And please forgive me if I've said something which was not according to the Shastras, or if it has not helped you. Please forgive me, but please bless me that I can continue to talk about the Lord. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes. Any comments, questions, realization would be very helpful.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Really nice class, Mataji, on this topic, because we heard many times, the how the speaker talks and how we are sitting there to understand the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, but all these concepts were very unclear to us. And the way, because we are all going through the material challenges and the material life and the mayas, the modes of material nature are so strong that even if we are trying to sincerely hear and sitting there, we get distracted by someone else who is making some noise or just getting up from the class and things like that. So that shows that how unsincere we are at the time of listening the class, on the very glorious topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and even how we are trying to sometimes offend the speaker as well in that time, because that creates more disturbance and adding on lots of other things. So thank you so much. The way you have explained was very nice, and there were lots of takeaways for me, honestly. And we would definitely try to implement those things in our life, that how we can be more good, sincere hearer, and how we can respect Srimad Bhagavatam at the time when we are sitting there for at least 30-40 minutes. And how the best thing I think I liked is that how we can keep on revising it. We try to revise a lot of other things in our life, but we don't give revision to this chapter. So it's really important to keep on meditating on those things which you just explained. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. You are on mute, Mataji.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Divya. Thank you so much for your comments. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
So, Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Candramauli Maharaj. Mataji, I have a question, because most of time I am attending from the work. I'm at work now. So if I don't face, do you think Maharaj get offended, or I am doing aparadh to Maharaj?
No, not at all, Mataji. So sincere of you that you from the workplace as well. You're trying and hearing. So this is a very practical thing. Basically, it's not hard and fast that you have to keep your camera on or you have to answer the question. But it's a very sincere effort. I would say very nice effort that you're hearing from class. So you basically you're bringing Krishna everywhere. Your mind is there in Krishna's lotus feet, and you want to hear. So that shows your eagerness, basically. And it doesn't.
So I'm not doing any offense to
no
Maharaj.
offense at all,
Mataji.
No
Okay.
offense at all.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Please, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, thank you for really wonderful class. So many things to take away. And like you said, I think hearing attentively, it's a lifetime study. Just as, we need to attentively hear our chanting. Like you said, maintaining that mood, that meditative mood in our classes when we hear scripture is very important. So thank you, Mataji.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Shilpesh, Prabhu. Very nice. Okay. If there are no other questions, comments, is it okay to do one round of chanting? Is it possible? Should we do that together?
Yes, Mataji.
Let's do that. Yeah, that'll be nice. Yes, Rishabh Prabhu, please go ahead. Sorry.
Hare Krishna, do you hear me?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu, please. We can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm cooking, so that you know. I didn't manage to give you full attention, and I think it's Ugra Nisimha that I'm cooking for. I hope that he will forgive me for not giving full attention to his meal. So let's see how it goes.
Very nice.
I would like to have like a summary of your class as well, because you said so many points. Some points you said earlier, then some points later. They're all connected, one after another, after another, after another. And I would like to maybe focus more. And this is what one thing I really kind of feel really important in my life, and maybe also important for all of us that are really serious in devotional life, that this hearing process, which comes from our regulation, which comes from our way of living, it all kind of ends up on, disturbed mind and not disturbed mind. When our mind is not disturbed, when it's peaceful, we actually can hear, we can actually chant, we can actually do things. And Kali Yuga, the biggest quality of Kali Yuga is disturbed mind. So can we speak more about, how to make our life more regulated, more peaceful, and the importance of not going to get the essence of our practice if we do not have a lifestyle which makes our mind, calm. Can you maybe please expand on this?
Yes, I think your question is how do we make our life regulated? Is that correct?
It's like regulated and simple, and I mean everything what needs to be done to make our mind calm. Because like serving spiritual master, it's like the moment my mind is not calm, it's like a disaster.
Yes, very important to keep our mind calm. So it's very important to, first of all, chanting. Everything comes from chanting. So this movement has been built just on chanting, as you say. Yeah. So I would say focus on your chanting. If you improve your chanting, and if you have the test of the holy name, everything evolves around that. Yeah. So if your chanting is good, you will have a desire to chant in the morning. Yeah. Because chanting can only happen in the morning. Chanting is the best chanting. You can't, whatever mind, however focus you do in the afternoon or evening or in the night, your chanting is not as nice as you do it in the morning. Even if you do 5 rounds, 4 rounds, 3 rounds, 2 rounds, if you do it in the morning, you will see the difference. So if you have a desire to improve your chanting, and if you're test for the holy name, you will do that in the morning. And when you do that in the morning, you will have to wake up in the morning. If you wake up early in the morning to do your rounds, you'll have to sleep on time. So it's more about winding up your day on time, and that will help you around. There are few things which I have learned to do, which I follow in my life, is waking up on time and keeping ourselves away from the gadgets. Yeah. And yeah, gadgets is very important, because a simple mobile can be really a dangerous thing in our life, because what happens that with mobile or anything, like, we are serving all the time. We have the tendency to serve. Yeah, we always, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, we always serving. Yeah, we are serving all the time. So even if we have mobile in our hands, we're serving mobile. If we're doing something, even if we're doing it for service, we're contacting a devotee or organizing anything, we're doing it for service. But that should be done in the limitation. Yeah, it should be done. Just call it and finish it off. Don't take it just because I used to like write a long map. Just stop doing it completely. And that helps a lot. It saves your time, it calms you down, because there's so much goes on the WhatsApp and other things, because a small thing can disturb your mind completely. So keeping away from the gadgets is the best thing you can do to your life. And focus on chanting. Chanting is really, if you have a desire to purify, improve your chanting, you will do anything to do that. Yeah. And that will automatically bring your sadhana. Yeah, you're like, basically your routine will be fixed around chanting, because it takes about 1.5 hours to chant. Even if you're doing 8 rounds, 7 rounds in the morning, you'll have to get up at about 6. I'm not sure what time everyone's day start. Maybe at about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, every your day starts. So you'll have to get up at least at 5:30, 6 o'clock to do your good rounds in the morning. And that will automatically, and don't sleep, don't take a long nap in afternoon. Take a small nap, like maybe just close your eyes if you can. If you're in the office, you can't sleep anyway. So don't take a long sleep in afternoon, and sleep early, winding up your day early. That will help a lot. By night, if you have seen the brahmachari's life, by 9:30 they're sleeping, like literally not trying to sleep, they're sleeping. So that's how, even if in any ashram we are, if we regulate our sleeping and eating habits, what we're eating, don't eat too many times, too many things. Keep your diet simple. I was hearing this about this. My sister called me up and she was saying about the sattvic things. We should eat the living food only, not dead food. Living food, what is the living food? Which has the life in it, like fruits, vegetables, lentils, and nuts. It has life in it. So, we always, devotees eat prasad, but eat living food. And don't eat too many times, too many items, sugar and all these things that just spoil your consciousness, it spoils your health. And it just, you're not in the routine. If you eat heavy stuff, like too many fried stuff, you will feel sleepy and your body's energy goes in digesting the food, and your body is not mind, your mind is not calm. So you have to remember that, your eating, sleeping habits keeps you calm. If you're sleeping on time, waking up on time, you're eating healthy food, and if you're chanting nicely, that will set you, and that will keep you calm as well. It's very important. I hope that answers. There's so many things you can talk about calmness, but this is a very at high level. I'm saying that these are the few things which will help you staying calm.
Exactly. This is the point, because I think that until we get, regulated and conscious, it's hard, it's impossible to be Krishna conscious. So, I'm just trying to be more regulated. Just, I like the point you said. If you really put the holy name as the, number one thing in your life, and then you will see that everything else will come from it. Everything else, you will set your life in such a way, you will start to reject things that is not helpful. You're going to follow the things that are helpful. If we just make a strong determination, let the holy name be the topmost priority for me. And then we will need 1 year or 2 years even to come to the stage where we are actually getting the benefit out of it. But the process, we are taking up the process.
True.
Thank you very much for this.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes, Revati Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Shri Mataji. My humble obeisances of Prabhupada, all praise to Guru Maharaj. Just want to say thank you very much, Mataji. Very beautiful class. You shared so many points on hearing, how important it is to hear very attentively, especially like, you need to turn on the camera. I personally experienced that when I sit, when class is going on, Guru Maharaj class is going on, when you sit in front of the computer and you don't do any other task and just listen attentively, you can really grasp a lot of things, lot of information, and you can see like, your mind becomes calm and that day goes very nicely. Yeah, but I'm still working hard. Like sometimes, like being in a grahastha life, it's very difficult. Morning, like we have that other task, like kids going school and all that. But it's very important, especially that morning 1 hour sitting in front of computer and listening to Maharaj class, Guru Maharaj class. It's like food for the soul. That really helps, personal experience. And thank you for sharing those regulation, winding up, in the night and getting up in the morning also helps. But I'm still like, some days it's very good, some days it's not good, it's a thing. Yeah. But very beautiful class. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mataji. Some days we cannot really turn on the cameras. No, if it's not offense.
No, please don't worry. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for your encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, we'll do one round of japa, and then we will end up the session. And stop the recording. Thank you so much, everyone. Srila Prabhupada.